Good morning, this is George Lees again, right in the middle of a battle against national traitors and deceitful wives. In a few days' time I have to contest the issue of my divorce. My wife's solicitors team have never defined the bad behaviours which I'm accused of, and none of my behaviours are grounds for divorce in Scotland. And yet I'm reading on what they're calling their condescendence is that the parties were married and they lived together as man and wife until October 2011. Following the parties' separation on that date, and they're claiming remuneration for all of our lost expenses and the delays in her stripping of my pension funds. Our solicitor may not be a British citizen, but our solicitor is now complicit in the Trident crimes, and I've posted those and my correspondence and dialogue with the administration of the Scottish Justice Secretary, Michael Matheson, and I'm just going to ask her if she can follow through. This is the solicitor Patricia Thom, who's Canadian, used to work for the Borders Council, has got a number of director IDs on the business registry, and there are Thoms on the Gala Geopolitical Manipulation Committees. I forget the name of the committee, with Windrums, who are the editors of the Southern Reporter and enslaved by Johnson Press in the massive cabal of people that are now stealing from the world's people. It is ever so complex, but I'm looking forward to defending myself, and I've posted all of that correspondence, despite the gagging order that Sheriff Drummond has placed on me, on talking about the man who was supposed to hear my law case until they discovered that I was onto their massive frauds, all of which have been revealed to Michael Matheson and Paul Wheelhouse MSP yesterday afternoon. Only the administrators recognise that that correspondence is in place. It's now on Facebook, it's now all over my webpage with the pictures of the Trident nuclear weapons scandal that they are covering up. So I'm going to ask Miss Thom for help. She has offered the help. She said to me, I know how difficult it is, you cannot get a solicitor, for you to get a solicitor, George, because the solicitors are all equally corrupted. Stuart Fair, John Naismith, all of those people, they're advisors to the Scottish Government like John Lamont. When I tried to get a solicitor between Perth and Newcastle, every one of the law firms I looked at had Ponzi schemes, links to Bermuda and the laundering tools, and none of them are able to account for that. They don't even understand the concept of a Ponzi scheme, and a lot of them have got shelf codes advertised on their websites, and this morning I've just busted open the news about the Trident scandal that will bring all of these legal teams to their knees. So let's give her a call and let's see if we can continue with the genial help that she was prepared to give me as my wife, who's completely disloyal and ran her business right up to June of 2014 from my house using my IT, and she then, when she left, she stormed out on June the 4th without any written correspondence to tell me that she was entitled to take any of the chattels from my home. They've all disappeared. I'm not allowed to know now where my own children reside, and she pretends that that is for her safety. She is going to become a really very badly thought of woman, because what she's done is to attack me for defending Scotland's independence and capacity to be free of the world leaders and the English tyrants that live right next door to her brother in the Whitney constituency, which is the Prime Minister's constituency. Her brother has asset stripped the dental profession and is now robbing English dental students of everything that he got for free. And all of that news is coming out. Whether or not it's before or after I am prepared to go to jail to expose these massive crimes against the people, I will not relent. Okay, let's try phoning Miss Thom, who's Canadian and may not be a Scottish citizen, but she earns a lot of money like all of the other solicitors' cabals who are in league with JP Morgan, George Soros and Michael Moore in the Ponzi schemes that even consume the Parliament building. Right then, she shifted her address from Kelso to Galashiels, otherwise I could just have popped in. Without everything that I'm defending here has to be paid for by me. I have to pay a fee to give myself the right to defend myself, and to they've not on the second writ issued any grounds at all for her departure or for her removing her sexual favours way before even the separation date that they have declared on the writ. Her bedroom became her office, and they then, after I've exposed that she was funded by her brother, the asset stripper in dentistry, they then changed that story and made her self-employed. But they've now portrayed it as if she was no longer self-employed and trading as a self-employed person from my back bedroom with the computer that I entirely owned and has a label on it that says not to be used for commercial purposes. That's the software that I also lent to her. The encryption thing I will place on my web pages later on, because the computer was crashed and I was able to get into it, although she could not, she said, and I found the commercial dialogue between the company that crashed and encrypted the computer and my need to pay for it again if I wanted to get it back in action. It is just a theft project, and I'm led to believe that the threshold divorce now in Scotland, the threshold for divorce in Scotland now is that a very well qualified and ruthless solicitor like Miss Patricia Thom, all they need to do is to write a letter accusing a husband or a wife of bad behaviours, and if the lawyer is efficient enough, they can defraud that person of everything that they owned. When I met my wife, I entirely owned my own home. She became very interested in me when we were just about to receive massive redundancy payments from the Wellcome Foundation, and I've exposed to you how the boss at the Wellcome Foundation in those days is now a filthy rich member of the Forbes rich list. The people that worked for her company Manpower at that time and put them into positions where redundancy funds were going to be paid, there's a Cahill on the board, she's registered with Cahill's, or there's a woman with the same name and identity but with fraudulent birth dates registered with Cahill's in the southwest of England, and she's gone on holidays to the south and spent the family money, and she's accusing me of financial neglect. All of our savings were put in the bank by me. Okay, I'm getting this out in case they bang me up in the forthcoming proceedings at Jedburgh Sheriff Court, where Sheriff Drummond has imposed a gagging order on me for exposing the entire illegitimacy of the Crown and of the Christian oath which is used in the marital proceedings in the church. Okay, right, let's try calling Miss Thom's team. We've got a stranger sitting across the road today, right opposite the house. I don't know whether it's the Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't recognise the car. It could be the Lothian Borders Police. I've just complimented them for issuing case numbers on my attempts to disclose these massive crimes against the people and what has now become a nuclear extinction threat. sorry, I don't have a speakerphone, so it's going to sound a bit bizarre. Hi, is Patricia around for a little chat? It's George Lee. When last time we had a get together at one of the pre-hearings on my divorce case, she very kindly said to me that this is what's about to happen, George, because I can't get a solicitor because of the fraud in your sector. And so what she said that day was that she was prepared to give me some advice on the timelines. Her advice was not absolutely solid, because she said that she would have the paperwork only for a few days and I would have quite a lot of time to prepare my defence, but that she would make me aware of the documents that I have to fill in so I can defend myself, and where I send them to when I rebut her point by point issues on the second writ that she has issued. And incredibly, she's claiming in the second writ, because there have never been any grounds for the divorce presented to me despite multiple written requests, and I'm now corresponding with the Justice Minister for Scotland about the breach of law that is happening in this case and my gagging order from Sheriff Drummond, and all of that is already online. I want her to know that I need to know from her how to defend myself and to present in court the evidence that proves me to be absolutely innocent of any behaviours that are grounds for marital divorce in Scotland. The incredible claim that I've been separated from my wife since October 2011, which is on the second fraudulent writ, is unbelievable. No, I'm recording it so for my own safety. I just want you to hear online that my wife claimed to have left me in October 2011, which is what your solicitor is accusing me of. She ran her business from my home using my IT until June the 4th of this year. Yeah, can you accept that? Are you telling me that that is correct, or are you just okay, so my wife does not know what is in any of the writs. It's Mrs. Thom that writes the writs and does the creative thinking. My wife did not know what I was accused of when the last time I met her in a decent conversation in a coffee house in a public place. And Miss Thom is now privy to the Trident nuclear weapons information that it is. She's presented that evidence to me and to the Jedburgh Sheriff Court. Let me read out the case number that to give me the advice that she promised in the last pre-hearing. Yeah. And do you want to hear the URL for the cover-up of the Scotland independence, my gagging order from Jedburgh Sheriff Court? It is. It's on this case. I am gagged. The last sheriff on this case. It's online. Have a look for yourself. And can I cite your name?